Two state Republican representatives who endorsed Senator John Cornyn over Ken Paxton in the Senate GOP primary and runoff, who are now backing the Attorney General. Representatives Matt Shaheen of Prosper and Jeff Leach of Allen are from Collin County, Paxton's home turf. Paxton has remained at odds with the lawmakers after Shaheen and Leach were among the 60 House Republicans who voted to impeach the Attorney General back in 2023. Leach was also an impeachment manager who spoke during Paxton's trial in the Senate. Paxton was acquitted on all articles of impeachment, and he strongly denied any wrongdoing. The Attorney General then campaigned against Shaheen and Leach in their respective Republican primaries. Shaheen and Leach told me they are supporting Paxton for the good of the Republican Party and the state of Texas.
Well, I think the Republican voters spoke loud and clear that they preferred Ken Paxton. He won overwhelmingly in the primary. And look, we need to motivate our base, make sure that Republican base gets out, and Ken Paxton has clearly demonstrated that he can get our Republican base out. So we look forward to November, helping him out and doing everything we can to get him and all of our awesome Republican candidates across the goal line in November.
Well, yeah, it was never a question for me and Representative Shaheen, and I don't believe that it should be a question for Republican voters across the state. Primaries are a time for us to pick our roster, to pick our candidates, to kind of have our family fights, if you will. But once the slate is chosen, which the voters of Texas have done, it's incumbent upon us and for all Republicans to get out and support the ticket from the top to the bottom. So it's never a question for me. We know who our candidates are headed in November, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure every single one of them from the top to the bottom is elected.
You both had some tough words for General Paxton in the past, and I'm just wondering, have you called him? Have you had a chance to speak with him since this runoff? And, what was that like?
Yeah, look, I had a brief conversation with Attorney General Paxton. It was brief. He's busy, as you can imagine. He's hard to get a hold of. But we had the opportunity to speak just for a couple of minutes, and we committed to support each other, and told him that me and all the Republican representatives in Collin County are going to do everything we can to get him across the goal line. In fact, we're talking about having a big get out the vote event. So it was a brief conversation, but it was really positive, and we're united to make sure our entire slate wins in November.
I've reached out, and I haven't heard back yet, but I'm hopeful that he'll contact me soon.
And so what is your message to, all of John Cornyn's voters? Jeff, start with you.
Well, look, my message to all Republicans is we've got to come together. The stakes for this election are high, and the differences between the candidates, General Paxton and James Talarico, who we know very well and have worked with in the Texas House, the differences could not be more stark and clear. If you are a Republican voter who cares about the future of this state, the strength of this state, the security of this state, then the question for you headed into November is clear. General Paxton, even if you've got political or personal issues or concerns with him or questions, the question for you, the answer is clear in terms of who you need to support as a Republican. I'm hopeful that Republicans will do so. And, I've heard of some that plan to maybe just not vote in the race, and that in and of itself is a vote for Talarico. He's progressive, he's radical, he's liberal, he's dangerous for the state of Texas and for our country.
Look, James Talarico is a liberal extremist. He's a threat to Texas values. He has crazy ideas with respect to men and women's sports or men and women's bathrooms. He's mocked God. There's no place for somebody like that to be the United States Senator that's going to represent the state of Texas. Ken Paxton stands strong in protecting women's privacy. He stands strong in protecting our jobs and our economy. He's clearly the person to vote for this November.
Representative Leach, I know during the campaign you were very vocal critic about how the Texas Attorney General's office treated the Adam Hoffman case. Mm-hmm. Do you still have concerns about this? Do you still think there needs to be a hearing from your committee on this? And what was your take on the letter that the Attorney General's office, the two prosecutors who handled the case, sent to you?
Yeah, I was clear in my stance on that. I stand by my concerns with respect to how that case was handled. I haven't departed from that, and I want to apologize for it. I think there were major mistakes made with respect to how that case was handled, failures in the system really at all levels, Jack. And I believe strongly that General Paxton and his staff, and we know him, we know his staff, and even though we might have disagreements over how certain cases were handled, I believe to his core, no, I don't believe it, I know it, to his core, he cares about protecting Texas children. He cares about protecting and advocating for abuse victims. And so, yes, while I had concerns and still have concerns about the Adam Hoffman case, looking forward, what we're focused on is the legislative changes we need to make at the state level to ensure that doesn't happen again. We're working hand in hand with our next Attorney General, Mays Middleton, on doing that. And that's where I'm focused, is forward focus, looking forward to next session and in November to make sure we have the right people in positions of public trust so that the right decisions can be made.
What changes do you think should be made?
Well, we should have mandatory sex offender registration for people like Mr. Hoffman. It just should not be an option for a case like this for someone who admits severe and substantial and repeated ongoing abuse of a child to get off as easily as Mr. Hoffman did, and to be able to escape in many ways with very little to no consequences. So we're going to start with that.
Paxton's campaign advisor, Nick Maddox, sent us a statement saying, quote, "We are grateful for the support of State Representatives Shaheen and Leach. We all share the same goal, keep Texas red from the top of the ticket all the way down. We look forward to working with them to accomplish that goal."